How would you like to make your first million? Today we have Shawn Boehme as he helps companies grow smartly by aligning sales, marketing, and customer experience strategies. So, Sean, tell us, what are the 5 steps you recommend entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, I think the 5 steps that business owners need to have for their first million is first off, when I talk to business owners, the first thing that they tell me is that they're probably the hardest working guy in the business. So I would say, number one, stop being the salesperson in your own business. Uh, you're as soon as you can quickly hire a really good salesperson, that will allow you to focus on the business, hearing what your customers are saying, and then building what they need. And so then I would say, once you've been able to do that, then you just focus on marketing. So, educate your prospects as often as possible. Try to generate inbound interest around the clock without having, to be you that's actually generating that. So as soon as you can find a lead generation opportunity with SDRs, or you're creating content that people want to download, that's a really big advantage. Look at your customer base. The first step number 3, make the customers that have already bought from you additional customers. So how can you upsell into those customers quicker? They already trust you, they already know you. The more that you can offer them or other services that match up well with what you're offering, then you can grow your income even more. So just keep in mind that your customers are not just having to purchase one time, they can purchase other items. And then step number 4, I would say build systems before you need them. Keep in mind that everything needs to have a process in place, that you need to already have a retention process in place as soon as you sign that customer up, right? Because the customer, they're going to come through the onboarding, they're going to use your services, and then eventually you need a way to continue to communicate with them and continue to upsell other services that they would need. And then the 5th one is just stack assets. So the more money that you make, think of what other services, what other items can you offer, and how do you grow your business by offering more than just one simple solution. So that's my framework for to become a millionaire with 5 steps.
So, tell us your story, how you become an entrepreneur.
So I have been with PanTerra Networks since 2015, and I've really focused on the sales and the marketing side of the business. And so I have seen our company go from offering one service, which is, UCaaS is what they call it, or VoIP, business phone services. And then watching as we've created additional products and additional offerings that our customers are asking us for. So we were able to close the gap between what our customers wanted and then what I should say is what our customers bought versus the next evolution of what they wanted. So we've had a lot of customers that came to us and all they needed was business phone service, but then we were able to offer them contact center solutions and AI solutions. And so that one customer that may start by just paying, $400 a month could easily turn into somebody willing to pay us $10,000 a month based off of what services they need. But that's my background. I've been at PanTerra since 2015.
So, what are the what message do you have for entrepreneurs that want to increase the sales marketing?
I'm
So,
I'm so
so
sorry. Say
basically,
that.
so what are the techniques or the steps that you recommend entrepreneurs in order to increase the sales?
So, number one, I think you always have to look at the feedback from your customers. So when you bring a customer on board, you need to have a way to find out why did they buy from you? What is it? What is the services that matter to them? What services do they not care about? Because maybe you're putting time and effort into a solution that doesn't really resonate in the marketplace. And the sooner that you can take that feedback from your customer base and implement it back into the business so that you're providing what the market wants, the sooner you're going to have more success. Did that help answer the question?
So, what terms of the sales process, okay? Um, any what's any tips that you can share with us regarding handling objections?
Yeah. So the sales process for the sales process, I think one of the big false thoughts out there is that you need a really big funnel because as you bring somebody through the sales cycle, that funnel is going to get smaller and smaller and smaller. But a really good salesperson will actually disqualify somebody quickly instead of spending the majority of their time hoping that that person will buy. And so instead of creating what's called a sales funnel, I actually would say you create a sales cylinder. So you get very protective about the type of customers that you're going to put into your pipeline. You can't close everybody, you can't offer everybody the services that they need. Oftentimes people don't even know what they need. And if they can't identify that, if they aren't really somebody who can get a deal done, then you could be wasting your time. And the number one commodity in sales is time. That's all we have. So if you're uh, if you're just spending time with people that are not qualified from the very get-go, then you're not going to have a good success. You're not going to close the business. So I would say make make them tell you why you should invest your time with them. And then if your marketing team is doing a good job, then you're already getting exposure and people already know you. So you're not going to feel so desperate that like the one person you get to talk to, you have to sell. Yeah, if marketing's doing what they need to, people will know about you, they'll know what you can offer, and they should just naturally be coming in. So then you as the salesperson really need to identify, is this person real? Can they actually move the needle? And questions like that.
Okay, let's expand a bit more on this. It's important. So, what are the five elements or the five most important things that you have to do in order to qualify client, in order to qualify to say, okay, to go inside the cylinder? No. What are the five
Yep.
things you do?
Right. So my go-to question is this person just somebody that gathers information, or can they actually be somebody who moves the needle and gets the deal done? So oftentimes we don't oftentimes get to speak to the business owner themselves. We have to talk to a lower level staff member, somebody who can gather the information, but not somebody who ultimately gets the decision made. And so what I have to do is that's the first thing I want to know. That's step number one is, am I working with someone who can actually move the needle and get it done? So I try to find out from their past what other projects they've completed that they've had success with. Tell me about the last project that you completed. What was that about? How did you get it done? How did you get somebody to sign off? What did that take? So I'm actually having them identify to me what they've done in the past to take a project from gathering information to actually getting completed. So, that's the first thing I want to know. And then
Bottom
I
line, bottom line is step number one is you are speaking with the decision maker, right?
Right. And sometimes you may not get to speak to the decision maker, but are you speaking to a champion that can actually get the deal done? Or is this just somebody who's going to gather information and then be told no? And then you wasted your time with them. So, absolutely. Then the next question is, why will they buy? Right. And that's a common thing that all salespeople know is you got to identify the pain, but it's not just the pain. It's if you implement this solution, how is that going to fix it? So talk about the pain, but also have them recognize the medication that you're going to give them and how it's going to fix it for them. So that would be number two is why they will buy. Number three is why won't they buy? I understand why you need it, but why wouldn't you? Sometimes people will live with the pain and they'll just deal with it because they don't want to go through the change process required to bring on a new solution. So not just understanding why somebody will buy, but also understanding why they won't buy. And then I always like to know who the competition is. I like to be really, really blunt about that and just say, well, why are you talking to me? Who else are you talking to? Why is it that you're talking to me versus company A or company B? And I like to have them tell me why they're willing to go with somebody that isn't as big of a brand recognition name, but why they'd be willing to put their name on the line for, my solution versus a well-known logos solution. So that's that. And then naturally, the other question that always comes up is, can you afford it? Right? Like, can we make budget? Is there, tell me what you're paying now. What's in the books? Do you have revenue coming down that you're going to use? So those would be the 5 steps of identifying a true prospect that you should spend time with. If they can't answer those questions, then the chances are they're never going to get better. The lead's never going to get hotter. And so you would probably be better off going and finding somebody else to work with than keep spinning your wheels, even though they're willing to talk to you.
So first we qualify. Okay. Now we go to the next step. What are the things that you need to take into consideration in order to close that sale?
Right. So in order to close that sale, you have to have buy-in. You actually want objections. I think that's one thing that people forget. If I have a discovery call and then I run a demo and my person has never told me an objection, they've never given me a reason why they won't move forward, that's a big red flag. Like, why, because a sale actually starts when you get your objection. If you don't get your objection, you're not digging deep enough. You're not getting enough information and feedback from the customer. And so I definitely think that you've got to be able to get an objection or a reason why they won't buy. And so a lot of sales guys, they look at why people will buy, but they're not spending a lot of time on getting the objections, forcing them to tell you something that's not, people don't like to upset other people. So if you can't get an objection out of them, there's a good chance that when you follow up with them again, you never hear from them because they just don't want to upset you by saying no. Try to get that objection. That's where the sale really starts.
Yes, saints. Um, so what? So let's suppose that out of the phone calls, okay, um, what do people say that the phone calls doesn't work anymore? Is that true?
Actually, I don't think that's true at all. As soon as, so AI is exciting. There's no doubt about it. AI is exciting. Um, but it's still different for somebody to hang up on a person versus hanging up on a robot. It's really easy. As soon as I hear that somebody called me and they've got an AI voice agent calling me, I'll just hang up. That doesn't offend anybody. That doesn't hurt anybody's feelings. So I still think that when you're doing outbound marketing and you're reaching out to your client base, you still need to have a human making that connection. Now, I will say where AI has been amazing is on the inbound. If you have something that the customer wants, they will be willing to communicate with the computer as long as that computer is accurate and is truthful, then they're more than happy to communicate with AI in order to get what they want. So I think an inbound process works really well with an AI agent. But I think so. I think if you're doing anything with an inbound call center, if you're doing anything with inbound sales where you're really generating a lot of interest because you have a product that people want, then people are definitely willing to communicate with AI in order to get what they want. But more in a consultative sales solution, you're not going to use AI to go through a really difficult sell process where there's multiple stakeholders. And then I definitely think you still always need the outbound human calling. I don't think that's going away anytime soon.
So let's a little bit more one of the things, bad things about sales and AI.
Yeah, so sales and I would say I think number one of the biggest, so sales guys are naturally wanting to spend their time talking to people and communicating. That's actually why they got into sales. They like to communicate, they like to have a relationship, they like to feel connected, they like to feel heard. That's what sales people do a really good job at. Where they struggle is note taking, documenting everything from that call, getting all of those notes from the call over to the onboarding team. That's where sales people struggle, is because they're more focused on the big picture, and getting really granular is not normally part of the personality. So where AI has been amazing is something called AI agent assist or AI assist. Imagine having the call recorded, transcribed in real time. Then when the salesperson gets done with that phone call, all of their notes are just right there. The summaries there, the sentiment of the phone call are there. You can even do lead scoring based off of the way that the person was intercommunicating with the salesperson. So where AI is amazing is in all of the other work, not the actual conversation, not going through the discovery call, but actually gathering the information that later on will be so helpful for onboarding and for operations to know. So that's where I think AI and sales go hand in hand, for sure.
Which software shall we using in order to make the phone calls and to make sure that everything gets recorded?
Yeah, and that's where PanTerra Networks comes in. We are a true phone system. So we have outbound dialers. So if you're running a call center where you need people to constantly be calling, we have that solution. If you need text messaging and you need to communicate with your customers through outbound texting, we have that tool as well. If you want AI to answer the frequently asked questions that people are texting in, we can help with that as well. Or phone calls too, not just text, but text, phone calls, web chat, email. We have all of those tools so that when your customers are coming to you, regardless of what channel they're communicating on, you're going to be able to have the same person respond, or you can have AI respond to them as well. So when it comes to contact center, and delivering in an omni-channel solution, that's where PanTerra Networks can step in and help your company out.
And for example, how the dialer works. So you guys have uh, a dialer, right? So tell us how this is going to work.
Yeah, so we have a dialer that has different modes. Preview mode just means that it'll call somebody, it'll call two people at the same time. Whichever one picks up, it'll get previewed to the agent. They can say, yes, I want to call that person, and then the call goes through. So that's a preview dialer. Or we have what's called a power dialer, and the power dialer is making multiple calls at the same time. As soon as somebody picks up, the agent hears them, and now the agent is talking to the customer, and that's on an outbound campaign. Then what you can do is you can
Mean,
lay,
what do you mean? The agent means the physical person, right?
yes, the agent is a physical person, correct.
Okay, and the
Yep.
dialer
So
will dial. Okay, one will dial two people at the same time, and the other one 10 people at the same time.
correct. You could do 10 people at the same time and whoever picks up can. Now there's a big thing going on with the big carriers right now. So when you're running an outbound campaign, one of the things that you can't have happen is you can't have your numbers show up as spam likely, or you're just going to go straight to voicemail. You're going to get bypassed. The phone's never going to ring because you've been labeled as a spammer. And so PanTerra Networks came out with something that we call phone number reputation management. What we're doing is we're checking your phone number and making sure that your phone number never shows up as spam, never shows up as scam likely. And then that way, with you're actually able to make that call go through. If you're running a dialer right now and you feel like every single call is always going to voicemail, then you really need to look at your phone numbers and see if they've been flagged for spam. And if they have been flagged for spam, there's definitely ways that you can fix that and get your number back. But most outbound companies that are doing a lot inside of a dialer, they recognize the need for phone number reputation management. And that's also something that we offer inherently in the platform. It's not a third-party company that you got to go hire. It's something that PanTerra can help you do and keep your numbers clean so that every single time you make an outbound dial, it always goes through and it doesn't go straight to voicemail.
That's just great. How much is it? How much it cost?
Yeah, so on the dialer, it's about $100 per user per month, roughly. And that would give you all those different levels, the preview dialer, the power dialer. It also allows you to do all of the AI notes that I was talking about. So the ability to have the notes and the summaries built there right for the person making the call. And so roughly it's about $100 per month for that service. And then for reputation management, it's $10 per phone number per month. So if you have like 5 numbers, that would be $50 per month to manage that. And it's not just telling you when the phone number is showing up as spam, it's actually telling you that it's showing up for spam, but also fixing it and remediating it so that it no longer does. And it takes us about 72 hours to remediate a phone number from getting marked as spam until it's not marked as spam.
So then the what make this phone call from the dialer. Um, how many leads, how many phone calls can you make? Let's say it's 100, you said $100. How many phone calls can you make per day, for example?
You should be able to make 400 dials a day in the power dialer. That's a minimum of 400 dials a day per person. In the preview dialer, you should be able to make 200 dials per day. The preview dialer is a little bit slower.
So the
But
preview dialer costs cheaper? How much does it
no,
cost the preview dialer?
oh no, the preview dialer, it's all included. It's just different levels, different modes that you do. But so the preview dialer is just a slower process. So that's why you can do 200 dials a day. And then the power dialer is about 400 dials per day. So, and then what we're
But the
seeing a lot
price
of
is the
success.
same, no? The price is the same, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same solution. It's just the mode that you put it in. So you have a lot of control
What's
over
the
it. Yeah.
difference between 200 and 400? What one is faster than the other one?
Yeah, so because the preview dialer requires that the human in the seat clicks yes, that they want to make the dial. So every single time it's giving you a preview record of the person that is available and you're clicking yes. And so there's a human element to it. On a power dialer, the agent just sits there and they're just waiting for the phone to beep so that they can start talking. So that's why one is slower than the other.
So basically, the slower the phones will ring, and then when the phone, yeah, when it rings, then the person will activate to speak, right?
Correct. Exactly. So on the preview dialer, it's just some agents like to have more control. They like to know who they're going to be calling so that they start with the person's name. On the power dialer, because you don't know who's going to pick up, whoever picks up, then the record shows up and there's a little bit of a delay. So the agent just needs to start speaking immediately as soon as the call comes on. So it's just there's different uh industries require different openings, different scripts. So it really comes down to that individual company and what you want that experience to be for your agents and then also for the customer.
Also depend on the amount of leads that you have daily as well. If you
Yeah,
have only
absolutely.
200 or less than 200, you should use something and take it more slowly because these 200 leads, and then what happened? The people that don't pick up, can they be called again
Oh yeah,
after?
and you can do double dialing inside of it. That's a very common feature. You call someone, they don't pick up, you give it 30 seconds, it'll just automatically call them again. Normally, if you call somebody twice, they think it's an urgent call and they'll pick up. So those are little techniques inside of the outbound sales world that people use. So yeah, absolutely, you can do that. And you can make sure that when you do the double dial, it always goes back to the same agent who made the first dial. So, yep.
So how uh the velocity be more like, for example, how the whole process work. Like, let's say you have 200 leads, okay? So what they do? Can you please mention the website and what how will be the process for them to start using the software?
Oh yeah. Our website is PanTerraNetworks.com. We actually have a page on our website that shows you all the different types of licenses available inside of our contact center. And really, it's a matter of scoping out what you're trying to do. We have different calculators that will run you through based off of your total lead flow, based off of the amount of agents that you have in the seat. And then we can determine the best seat type for you. Also, additional verticals that are available. So some of our companies, they'll be using the dialer, but then also while they're doing the dialer, they'll have it automatically send a text message at the same time because you're trying to see what is the preference of the client who's going to pick up. Do they prefer to text? Do they prefer to call? But yeah, so anybody that's interested can definitely come to the website, PanTerraNetworks.com, or I'm on LinkedIn as well under Shawn Boehme on LinkedIn. So please take a look at that.
And then for an startup, Sean, for someone with low budget, do you have what is the most affordable solution they have?
Yep. So that's actually called just a click to call. And you don't technically have to have an outbound dialer for click to call. You can literally just use a standard VoIP seat and then just know that your agent's going to be sitting there and each time when they see a phone number, they're going to click on the phone number. It'll automatically make the call and then they'll wait. Somebody that's doing click to call can get through about 150 dials in a day. And if you're doing click to call and you don't, we even have a CRM. If they need a CRM, we have a CRM that we can offer them. And roughly you'd be around $25 per month for that one employee there. So if you have a low budget,
So
don't
how the click to
hesitate.
call works? Yeah, how the click to call works? Can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we have a Chrome extension. And so if you have a CRM that lives inside of Chrome, you can literally just have the extension will highlight all the phone numbers inside your CRM. And then the agent just clicks on the phone number and then it'll automatically make the call. And that's how it works. And if anybody ever wants to see it in action, we can provide a demo for them. So
And then the agent only will be listening, right? Will be listening until somebody pick up, right?
correct. Well, they listen to it dial. They'll hear the ringing until somebody picks up, or it'll go to voicemail and they can hang up and they can go click the next number. So there's more of a manual process to it, but definitely it's available to be done. And like I said, about $25 per month, and that gives you unlimited outbound dialing on the PanTerra phone system.
Okay. And then it will integrate with the CRM, right?
That's right. Correct. And so CRMs that we integrate with out of the box are Salesforce, Zoho. Also, we have click to call available for HubSpot. So any of the big CRMs that you might be using, we can work inside of there. If you don't have a CRM, maybe you're just starting up your business and you're needing a CRM, we can provide you a CRM, and you can upload all of your records in there. And so if you're
And the CRM that you provide, Sean, is how much is the cost?
Oh, literally it's $5 per user per month for the CRM. So you take $20 per month for the phone system, $5 a month for the CRM. You're spending about $25 per agent per month, and you're good to go.
And also this data from the CRM can be exported to the other CRMs everywhere after, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's automation built out inside that CRM as well. So if they wanted to automatically, after a phone call, send a text message, you can do that. So there's a lot of things that you can do inside of the CRM platform if there's some interest in that.
Well, Sean, you've been there doing this since 2015. Wow. So how many different clients you have using the platform?
Oh, we have over 10,000 different companies using the platform.
Wow.
We have over 1 million end users that are on the platform. So
wow.
In fact, just a little tidbit, PanTerra Networks, when the unified communications vertical was created in 2010 and 2011, we were on the Gartner Magic Quadrant. We actually helped open up that quadrant. And so we are a privately held organization. We've been incredibly successful. Our growth is just going straight up because everybody wants to have a cloud-based contact center, and we can offer that for extremely reasonable prices. But then more importantly, everything is based here in the US. So if you're wanting to have somebody walk you through the solution, build the solution for you, we have all of that based in the US, and we are focused 100% on US businesses. So businesses based out of the United States or Canada, that's who we service.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sean, for this interview. For all of you following the podcast, see you in our next episode of Unstoppable. How brave entrepreneur like Shawn Boehme, Chief Investment. Bye for now.
Love it. Bye.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.